In this video, I'm going to go over the oxidation and reduction reactions in organic chemistry. So oxidation is the gain of electronegative atoms like oxygen, fluorine, nitrogen, or a loss of hydrogen atoms, whereas reduction is the gain of hydrogen atoms or the loss of electronegative atoms like oxygen, fluorine, or nitrogen. Another term would be oxidizing agent, which is something that oxidizes another thing. Think of it as like an agent serving a purpose, which in this case, the oxidizing agent is to oxidize another thing, whereas a reducing agent is something that reduces another thing. So for example, in this problem here, we have a ketone and an aldehyde. We want to oxidize this aldehyde into this carboxylic acid because we see that this carbon of the carbonyl carbon is gaining an electronegative atom bond like oxygen in this case, and losing this hydrogen bond over here. So in the reactant, this carbon is bonded to 2 oxygens and 1 hydrogen and another carbon, whereas the product is bonded to 3 oxygens and 1 carbon. So we see that the carbonyl carbon lost a bond to hydrogen and gained another bond to oxygen, which is oxidation. And so a reagent that we could use is NAD plus in water, where NAD plus is going to be the oxidizing agent that oxidizes the aldehyde into the carboxylic acid and gets reduced. Whereas this reactant here with the ketone and aldehyde is the reducing agent that reduces the NAD plus, since we see that the NAD plus will gain a hydrogen bond here, and therefore it is the reducing agent. And the water in the reagent here is just the solvent where the reaction takes place. So we see here that the carbon of the ketone does not get oxidized because that carbon already has 4 bonds and there's no hydrogens for the mechanism to work, because we see here the carbon of the aldehyde is bonded to hydrogen, which would be able to be further oxidized down into the carboxylic acid, whereas the ketone is already in this fully oxidized form where it cannot add any more bonds or else it would break the octet rule. So if one thing gets oxidized or reduced, then another thing would have to get reduced or oxidized. So we see here in this case, the aldehyde gets oxidized and the NAD plus gets reduced. So think of it as a pair of redox reactions. So here's another oxidizing agent that would oxidize this aldehyde into the carboxylic acid, which is the Jones reagent. And if you want to do a reduction reaction, then you would use a reducing agent like LiAlH4 and the acid workup step, where we would reduce this ketone into the alcohol because we removed an oxygen bond, and reduce this aldehyde into the alcohol because we removed an oxygen bond and added another hydrogen bond here, which is the reduction step there.